Hey everybody, welcome to season 5 of What's IGN Crushing On. I'm Caryn Solomon and I'm your host, and we're here to talk about what's hot in pop culture. Welcome to season 5, episode 5 of What's IGN Crushing On. I'm joined once again by Leanne. Say hi, Leanne.
Hello, Caryn. How are you today?
I'm great. And you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Today on the show, we will be chatting about the SAFTA 22 winners, as well as Britney Spears versus K-Fed and her kids. We talk about our favorite celeb father-son duo, and we chat to South Africa's influencer, Nadia Jaftha. She's an actor, she's a singer, she's a lot of things. She's a model, and she's in the new film Who's My Daddy, which is currently out in cinemas. We'll talk about more about that later. But before we get to that, there's been a couple of days since this year's SAFTA Awards, and there were so many amazing winners. I mean, for fans that have watched The Wife, Bonga Koza and Abdul Koza won Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. The two of them are brilliant in their roles. I'm actually sneak peeking watching The Brave Ones right now that also has Bonga in, and he's a tremendously amazing actor. So I was very glad about that. Also, Charlene 30 Richards winning for Ardent's
Mm-hmm.
Flay. Obviously posthumous, but I haven't seen this. I'm not that up to date with Ardent's Flay, so I can't talk about her performance on there. But I mean, we always know how amazing she has been.
Mm.
Leanne, any highlights for you?
I mean, obviously the fan favorite on our show, Kim Engelbrecht, winning for Reika, Best Actress in a TV Drama. And then Kate Normington winning for Tully's Baby Diary. I think it was just so
Mm.
cool to see the shows we've spoken about and the people that we've got to interview to promote their shows actually come through and win stuff. It just shows how South African film and television industry is thriving and putting out like amazing content. So Tully's Baby Diary, Reika, How to Ruin Christmas. Yeah, I Am All Girls. I'm so proud of Klubi Maboya for winning in that category. Really, really cool.
I want to say, like, my personal favorite, I mean, other than Kim Engel, because that's in a
Oh,
league all of our own, but Saint Cecilia winning for How to Ruin Christmas. Oh, that
I know.
main that man made season 2 for me. I mean, I like season 2 regardless. And I think oh no, I haven't mentioned it on the show, but I mentioned on another podcast that How to Ruin Christmas is probably my favorite South African series.
Yeah,
But him as Vusi in season 2 was like a piece of art. And I'm so glad that the SAFTA voters
amazing. Yeah,
agreed
no,
because damn it.
he was funny. He was emotional. It was all the drama, but he was hilarious. It was a very, very good performance.
Another show that we've also spoken about is Damn, and Natasha Loring, who plays the sister of the main character. I remember
Hmm.
she won for Best Supporting Actress, which was also quite good. Leah Vivier was obviously nominated against Kim Engelbrecht, so like it was a bit of a tough time for the podcast trying to choose a fighter. But congratulations to all the winners. In the film category, I don't think, other than you mentioning Klubi won Best Actress.
Mm.
Jafta Mamabalu won Best Actor for Freedom. Director went to Amy Jefter, who's also a previous podcast guest for her film
Mm.
Barakat. Why can't I say Barakat, a word that I've said so many
All the
times in my
time.
life? And the winner of Best Feature Film was I Am All Girls, who we also spoke to the director and the actors from that in a few episodes. So, guys,
Mm.
if you want to know more about some of these shows and films that have won awards, you know, we will link to our previous episodes with them and our chats with them where they talk about their films and their TV series. But yeah, we are so happy for all of them. I love it when South Africans celebrate South Africans. It's an amazing opportunity and it's an amazing feeling. And
Mm.
the show I was a little disappointed because the show was still digital or virtual.
Yeah. I was also
It's
so
still
confused because I saw, did they do what they did with the Oscars sort of kind of, because I saw them tweeting the winners, but it seemed to be for all the technical categories, and then it kind of stopped, and then they only do the main categories the next day.
No, no, no. The technical awards were Friday night, and then the
Yeah,
main awards were Saturday. So it was two
yeah, because
nights. So it
I
was like
saw
the
the tweet. Yeah,
Oscars. But yeah, I wanted to see, and there were some people who walked the red carpet and they looked amazing. But I wanted to see more. So I hope that
I know.
safety considered, I hope that 2023 will be live again and we'll see some more red
I suppose it's
carpet
also
and stuff.
awkward though, because like a lot of the winners are people that are busy. Like
Yeah.
the industry is back up and running, and thanks to Netflix, Showmax, like all of these people coming in and investing, I think there's a lot of the actors are actually busy. There are new shows coming out all
Hmm.
the time. There are new stories being told all the time. It's actually really, really cool to see them have the opportunity to work.
Yeah, but also not all of them. Some of them must be available. Some of them were chilling at home. I'm sorry.
Just
I
put on a
chatted to
pretty
somebody.
dress.
I chatted to somebody last night. I'm not going to say who won an award, and they were like, "No, they were out partying or something like that." And I was like, "Couldn't you have partied at the awards?" It's like, how does this go? Anyway, congratulations to all the winners, and I'm excited to catch up on the things I didn't watch. I mean, obviously, all the things that I watch for the podcast I know about, but there's a lot of these shows or in films that I haven't seen. Oh, another one. I don't know if I've spoken about this on the podcast. I don't know if I watched this when the podcast was on or off at Fitivati. But Glass House. Oh my effing word. I loved this movie. It's like a slightly dystopian horror movie, I think. And
Hmm.
it's kind of like that TV show Sweet Tooth. Like there's a virus going around, but these people are stuck in this family is stuck in this glass house. And they wear this like old Victorian clothes, and I was so obsessed with it. But anyway, it won for best editing, production design. I feel like costuming, costuming, makeup and hairstyling, a lot of the technical awards, cinematography, but it was a beautiful looking film. It was like a feast for the eyes, and I'm very happy about that. So that's probably my
We
my least popular film that I've watched. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm all girls. I enjoyed that and stuff, but I just want to throw that one in there. I don't think I've spoken about it on the podcast. That's why. What you gonna
you
say?
haven't.
Where
Where does one find it?
it's on Showmax.
Ah,
That's where one
gotcha.
finds it. Other than that, yeah, the like as we said, very excited to see the shows that I haven't seen yet. We also wanted to chat a bit about because we're talking about like parenting and stuff on this podcast, and either Leanne and I are parents, but the film that we're featuring this week is called Who's My Daddy? So
Hmm.
we were looking into the story making the rounds about Britney Spears. Bless her soul.
Hmm.
Can't catch a freaking break, this girl.
Nope.
Um, she has a family drama with her immediate family, but she also has a family drama with her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, and her children with him, Jaden and Preston. So recently, Britney's been doing these crazy shoots on Instagram, these like very much comfortable doing whatever she wants. I mean, I don't know what I would have been like if I was in a conservatorship for that long and I was suddenly given freedom. But
Hmm.
Kevin Federline, her ex-husband, has been speaking up against Britney's bad parenting. He's been posting videos. Her children, I think it was Jaden. He said that
Hmm.
she didn't live up to his expectation of being a mother, and it's just I. Number one, I just okay. We'll go to what you think it. And Britney has since responded and been like, I've been trying my best, and I know I'm not exactly this cool mom like your dad who like just chills around and smokes weed, which was kind of funny. But I've been trying my best, blah blah blah. But I will obviously want to hear your opinion. But I'm just like, why is this happening in public? Why are her children and her ex-husband attacking her in public? I know that she's gone public with a lot of her feelings, but it doesn't make sense to me why they are. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, the timing is weird for me. I suppose it would be interesting to know the conservatorship ending, what sort of allowances were made for K-Fed under the conservatorship and what's now not being made
Mm,
available to him, that she's in charge of her own life and finances again. Especially since it's very, like, in her post she says, I worked so that you guys could live a cushy life because you
mm,
got to benefit off me doing X Factor, etc., etc. And so I think it is just someone looking to benefit off of a narrative
mm,
once again. I mean, it's nothing new to the relationship or the storyline of that. So
yeah.
I definitely think that's something that's at play. I think what's sad for me is the fact that, yes, it's difficult to judge Britney now because, like you said, she was so young when she went into the conservatorship and she's been in it for so long. That sort of trauma and emotional damage and emotional abuse is like, we could never know what that's like and how to now come out of that. But I think on the flip side of that, it's the same for her sons. Like, they
Mm,
never got to grow up knowing their mom as a whole, full human.
mm,
And so it's going to be easy for them to be manipulated. And I think we can't forget that they are still very young and they are
yeah.
still impressionable. And so I think it's just sad because something like the conservatorship didn't just affect her or her fans. Like, it's going to leave a lasting impact on her kids. And that's
Mm.
incredibly sad.
That's actually perfect. I don't know what else to say to that, but I hope in my like in the depths of my heart that they can make up again.
Mm,
And
definitely.
like, because it's very obvious how much she loves them. So, and
Mm,
it's probably like difficult to communicate with them now. So I hope that, especially as they go older and they maybe start to realize things for themselves, they can, that they can be able to. Because I mean, I wonder if after they both turn 18, if Kevin Federline would still be expected to, if he will still be
look
getting,
after them. Or getting
yeah,
like
also be
a
getting
alimony
money
type
from her.
vibe.
Yeah.
Mm,
Because I mean, when
interesting.
they no longer are dependent on him, whether he will still, and I wonder what he will do then. But we still have a few years until that. I just hope that everyone stays happy or stays healthy at least.
Yeah.
So okay, so we are chatting about our favorite celeb father and son duos. Before we go into talking about the film, I just I wanted to know from you, like, who's your fave father son pair?
Tricky. So I think when you first asked this question, the first person I thought of was David Beckham, just because I think he's one of the few like family father figures you see often.
Mm,
Like, so when you think of fatherhood and celebrity, you think of him. Like, he's just
yeah.
that sort of person. I don't normally picture many other celebs as like family dads. Maybe Will Smith. Like, yeah. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, actually, if I have to think about where I like their body of work independently, like both their bodies of work as father and son famous people, I would probably say Denzel Washington and John David Washington. Like, they both just in their own right have done. I mean, obviously Denzel Washington is like
Mm.
Denzel, but his son has also just got an incredible body of work and he's so talented. So yeah, I totally back them.
I watched this one interview. I think it was one of those actors and actors, and it was John David with Jared Leto. And then
Mm.
Jared Leto was there for one of the film. I can't remember what's the name of the film he did with Denzel Washington. And then John David was like, "And when you something with Mr. Washington," and then he gave like this little smile, and I was like, "Oh, so cute." And then
Aw.
I went down like a rabbit hole, and then I watched an interview where they interviewed was like some other like person had interviewed Denzel Washington, and they were asking him like, "Oh, what do you think about Malcolm and Marie? Not a very good film,
Mm.
but anyway." So he's like, "That your son was in," and he's like, Denzel Washington was like, "And his
Okay.
sister produced," and like I was like. Even Denzel has favorites. Like he didn't even talk about his son's performance. He was more interested that the interviewer knows that that his daughter produced the film. So for me, I quite like, I mean, this is kind of obvious, but I love me Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is my favorite actor ever. And I also really like Colin Hanks. Like he's been in some great comedies and he just seems like a really nice guy. I've listened to so many podcast interviews with him. Obviously waiting like hoping for nuggets about Tom Hanks. But also he's just great, like, family guy with his wife and his, I don't know, kids. I don't know if he has kids, but I feel like he does. And but he also just really loves his father and his stepmother. And he's just also seems like such a great guy. We're not going to talk about Tom Hanks's other son. He's got two other sons, but not the one we all thinking of. But yeah, I've got to say and Colin Hanks are my faves. But I also want to give a special shout out to Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans Jr. I think when we were discussing
The
this
best.
earlier, the funniest thing you said was that you didn't realize that Damon Wayans Jr. was a totally new person. You just thought Damon Wayans.
I did not. I started watching. So someone.
Happy endings.
Okay, context. Yes. So I started watching Happy Endings, and obviously it was like a weird bootleg copy. It was back in the day, whatever. And so I was just like, "Wow, this man has not aged." And then at some point, I was like, "Wait a minute." When his dad comes into town, I was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit!" Like the mini drama. I was like, "Oh, that's wild."
And it was like, and it feels like he just popped up, like, like a new replacement Damon Wayans.
Exactly, and they do look so alike.
Exactly.
It's uncanny.
I read this thing that said that Junior from My Wife and Kids was based on Damon Wayans Jr. And like sometimes there's some things that he does where I'm like if I watch interviews with him and I'm like, yeah, I can see it.
That's not a compliment, eh?
But it's so like I was listening to this podcast interview with Marlon Wayans, and he was talking about how he was almost like him and Damon Wayans Jr. stuff. They were all grouped together because they were around the same age. And you're like, there's so many freaking
Oh
Wayans, you
wow,
can't keep up with who's who and
yeah,
who's child. But I
that's a
love both
lot.
of them. They're both incredibly funny and talented and oh man, I love them. But let's move on and chat about our guest. So this week on the show, we had the pleasure of chatting to the amazing Nadia Jaftha. Nadia Jaftha has moved mountains, and it's been amazing to watch as she has just tackled goal after goal and just been this amazing influencer. I feel like I said amazing like 12 times, but that's how I feel. So,
It's an accurate word to describe her
yeah,
trajectory.
she's
Like
had.
it's been amazing to watch.
So now she's in her first film, and as I was chatting to her, you obviously hear this in the interview, but I wanted to talk more about it. We were talking about the fact that this is her first film, and she was like, she studied acting and that sort of film, and this is very exciting for her. But obviously, her
Mm,
career took a very different trajectory because who'd thought that her videos would blow up and she would do the skit comedy and become this influencer before making her debut as an actor. And I said to her, but isn't that like such an interesting way to go about it? Because who to know and if she had just gone into straight acting, if she would have been able to have the career that she now has, being able to choose what she wants to do and move from whatever, like singing to influencing to modeling, just being able to do whatever she feels that she wants
mm,
to, if she had just gone into straight acting. And we couldn't have predicted the influencer culture that we have now. And just
mm.
being able to watch her as she has grown and become this huge personality in our lives, it's been amazing.
But also, it feels like she'll be ahead of the game because of the influencer culture.
Yeah.
Like, so much of being a star is being able to manage media, manage your persona, manage
Mm.
how you move in these limelight situations. And so it's actually because now she has media training, she knows how to navigate her brand.
Yeah.
So onwards and upwards. I'm excited to see where she goes from here.
Me too. So her film, Who's My Daddy, is now in cinemas, so you can find it, wherever you get a good Ster-Kinnick or New Metro, Stars, or whatever cinema you go to. But tell you more about it. When three losers, Prikesh, Emma, who's played by Nadia, and Alfie, come together due to a weird set of circumstances, they go on a wacky journey to try and find Prakesh's long lost father. Prakash has never known his father, and after being humiliated on the TV show The Joke Off, he realizes it's time to go a pair to find his father. Emma is a British journalist who will lose her internship in South Africa if she doesn't get a published story. And soon she unwittingly lands the story of Prakash. Alfie is an entertainment agent, and after losing his last and only client, he's forced to take on Prakash to try and resurrect his business and life. None of the clues are solid, so they're constantly shooting in the dark and getting it wrong. It's a story that sees them travel from Johannesburg to Durban, and they meet some crazy people along the way. Leanne and I had the privilege of watching this movie last week, and there is a million cameos in this movie. Like
The
every.
cameos were insane. I was just like, how? How is this person here right now? And also as such bizarre characters, like just because they're not just like coming in as themselves, they're now just random people in
The
the
story.
story, also some acting along. It was so fun.
It was a ball of a time in the cinema. We laughed so much. So if you're looking for a comedy just to take the ease off, take the edge off of a hectic day, I'm telling you, this is it. You will just laugh and and be like, and like, to tell the truth, I feel like it's been almost a week since we watched it, and every time I've messaged Leanne like a random thing from the
A
movie
random thing.
that I just remembered and was laughing about. So it's that kind of movie. It's a film that will get you like thinking about it long after it's over. So here's our interview with Nadia Jaftha. Hi Nadia, welcome to What's IGN Crushing On. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm lovely. So your first film is debuting. How excited are you?
I'm super excited considering that we filmed it like over 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
It was supposed to be released in the year that COVID hit. So obviously all
gosh.
the were closed and everything. So now it's like 3 years later and it's different seeing myself that long ago. It feels like I'm a completely different person.
So tell us more about Who's My Daddy's about.
So I don't want to give too much away because I want people to go and watch the movie. But basically, it's about three losers that are just trying to, make a name for themselves, and they decide to help each other out because no one else will. And just this the predicaments that they find themselves in along the way makes for quite an entertaining story. And it's very like old school South African humor, very like throwback vibes.
So, what is it about the film that drew you to it?
I think what drew me to the film was the fact that there were so many other comedic legends in the movie, and it's like just for me to be a part of that was just so overwhelming, and I was so grateful. So I was just happy to be a part of the movie just because of that, and it was my first movie as well. So I was just grateful to be even have the opportunity to do that.
So, what is the experience like moving from skit comedy to film acting?
It's not really that much of a transition for me because I did study film and it's something that I always wanted to do. But obviously life got me, and I was, so blessed with so many things that I was able to do in South Africa and so many other opportunities. But my main focus has always been on the big screen. So I'm grateful to be able to venture into that now.
It is very interesting how your career has moved because I mean, like, you, as you say, you wanted to end up here, but also the things that you did has been so amazing that, like, who knows, how
Yeah.
things might have gone.
I've definitely learned to just be open to opportunities, even if I don't really see where it's going or what it's going to bring. Or I've just learned to be open to opportunities because you never know where it will lead you. And I feel like I needed to kind of go through everything else to finally end up here.
So, I mean, I didn't know it was so long since you guys shot it, but what is
Yeah.
your so it's like literally a memory. So what is your best memory from the experience?
I think the best memory would probably be like the connections that I've built. I'm still, very good friends with a few people that I shot with, and just the learning curves, and I just grew and evolved a lot as a human while I was filming. It's coming from, like you said, coming from skit comedy and coming from social media and all of that. Like it was different, but I still felt like I was home. If that makes sense.
Yes, perfect sense. So what the most unexpected lesson you learned while being on set?
I think for everyone going into, filming their first movie, I think the most unexpected thing is how many people it takes to really get the job done. And there's so many people that go behind the scenes that you don't see in front of the camera. So me being there and seeing it firsthand, it's really amazing to see everyone that helps and that makes it possible, so that was really amazing.
So what did you find most challenging about the process?
I think just the hours are really long. You have to get the shot done. And then also, that you just have to make sure that you know about your character, who your character is, so that when it is your turn to deliver on those lines and to deliver on your performance, you're not holding everybody back, because there's that pressure, like you're holding people back and there's a schedule that we're trying to stick to. But thankfully, the people that I was on set with, they were very patient, even when I did mess up or when I felt like I messed up.
So your character's British from the trailer, that's what I got. So was that challenging at all, like the putting on an accent?
Yeah, so I had to go for accent training before we started filming. So I felt quite confident by the time we got filming in my accent. I mean, hopefully people will they will think the same thing.
I can't say anything. I haven't seen it yet, but I just thought, I was like, wow, Nadia's British. This is interesting.
People are gonna watch the movie and they're definitely not gonna see the Nadia that they are really that too. So I think that will be a pleasant change for the eye.
So out of all the celebs that cameoed in the film, who's your favorite and why?
There's lots of favorites. I can't really pick one because there are so many South African legends in the film. But yeah, I really can't pick. I really there's so many legends in the film, so it's difficult for me to pick just one.
Okay, can you pick 3?
Well, okay, look, I really enjoyed working with Alfred, and they are legends in their own right. And Caryn as well. She's amazing in the film. There's a few cameos as well. There's a cameo by Lasizwe. There's David Cow, Celeste. There's lots and lots.
So who are your acting icons?
My acting icons, well, locally, Pearl Tusi. She's also a very close friend. And I love Meryl Streep. Just like the classics. I love Watson as well, Emma Stone, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya.
Yeah, we love Anne Hathaway, yeah. So you're a singer, you're an actor, you're an influencer. What's next for you?
I think maybe trying to find a way to integrate everything together, but yeah, I don't like to limit myself. So my main priority is just to entertain. That's in one way or other. I have done a few projects since the film, but I can't talk about that until it's out. NDA vibes.
But I mean, it's cool that you don't have to limit yourself. You've shown your ability to do so many things, and it's versatility is the best thing. So this is the question we ask everybody. But who is your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush, sure. My first proper celebrity, I really love Mark Wahlberg, but the young Mark Wahlberg. And what's that other one? Tom Hardy. And
yeah.
Who else? I love what's that other one? That guy that's in Euphoria. Is it Jacob?
Oh, Jacob Elordi.
Yes, I love him as well. And I don't know if you heard about that. It's my boyfriend.
Oh. I might have heard of it somewhere on every social media, but
Caryn crush.
Oh man, this is adorable. But Nadia, thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to watch the film and for everybody else to watch it too. This has been lovely.
Thank you. I hope that you're going to go watch the movie. You must let me know what you think.
That was our interview with Nadia Jaftha. Nadia Jaftha is a YouTube star and fashion blogger, influencer, singer, actor, and you can watch her in Who's My Daddy, now in cinemas. Now it's time for our favorite segment of the week. Leanne, what have you been crushing on this week?
Once again, this week was a little bit chaotic. I have been watching She-Hulk, but I have not gotten to the end of it, so I will not tell you that I'm crushing on it just quite yet. And you stole what I was crushing on.
Oh, sorry.
So we'll wait for that. But then today I remembered this wonderful YouTube channel called Movies with Mikey. It's this guy in the States, and he does these deep dives on movies, but it is insanely, like, there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of clarity, there's a lot of fun editing and snippets that stick in your mind forever. And so, yeah, I'm kind of remembering my crush on Movies with Mikey. You can find it on YouTube. And side shout out to the movie he featured today, which was Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think I watched it while the pod was on break, so I did not get a chance to gush about it and how amazing it is. It's one of those films where I can't actually tell you what it's about. All I can do is tell you to watch it, because you have to go in blind. You have to have no expectations other than be prepared to be entertained. So yeah, that's what I'm crushing on this week. What about you, Caryn? What are you crushing on?
Sorry for stealing yours, but I'm crushing on season 2 of Only Murders in the Building. Obsessed, loved it. It was just such a fun ride, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So when I was younger, okay, let's start into this. When I was younger, my cousins,
Okay, let's go.
a lot of my humor is from my cousins because they made me watch a lot of movies. But they made me watch this movie called The Three Amigos, and I was obsessed with it. And I think it's also where a lot of my enjoyment of weird westerns come from. So in that movie stars Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin. And I've seen that movie so many times. So I had this, like, I started getting this really bad obsession with Martin Short. And then when I got really into SNL, Jimmy Glick was like my guy. He was a movie critic, and I was like, I'm gonna be, even though he's crazy, I'm like, I'm gonna be like him one day. And he asked them the most weirdest questions. But anyway, and then it just went on, and I got really still obsessed with the 1972 version of, like, Toronto theater version of Godspell, which I've never watched, but just has the most iconic actors in it. And that entire SCTV Toronto cast is like, sorry, this is my very in-depth comedy nerd. So
it's your podcast, babes. Do whatever you want.
I fucking love Martin Short. Like, if this was crashing on, fucking love him with my whole heart. So this, I've seen every special he's done. I've listened to all the podcast interviews, and watching him in the show has been such a treat. And and seeing him with Steve Martin, who's obviously his best friend, but like the way the two of them, when they're not filming, the way the two of them diss each other is like, that is my comfort food. Their banter is my absolute favorite. And just, I love Selena Gomez, so seeing her added to these comedy legends that I've loved my entire life has just, like, this show is just a treat. And New York, my favorite city, and the clothes and theater and everything that I love in the world. And mystery, damn it. Season 2, you had me hook, line, and center. I love you. Only Murders in the Building. Everybody needs to watch this show. Disney Plus right now. I don't care. Put this podcast off. Go watch it. Sorry for that long rant. I really, really love comedy. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week with a new episode all about pop culture. We'll see you then. Me, you can find at Caryn Walby on Instagram, at Caryn Walbys with an S on Twitter, and sign up for my newsletter, Wildest Dreams, at wildestdreams.substack.com. The podcast can be found at Crushing on Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can find us at What's IGN Crushing On YouTube,
And you can find more information about this and all our other episodes on our website, crushingonpodcast.com. Send any feedback to mail@crushingonpodcast.com, and you can send us voice notes at +27 78 362 2566. Join our Facebook group, Crushing On Club, where we chat about the show, celebrity news, recommendations, the whole shebang. The show is produced by me, Caryn, as well as Rebecca Barches and Leanne Phillipson. The show is edited by Rebecca Barches. Our logo was designed by Nathifa Maroof, and the show was created in partnership with IGN Africa. If you like the show, tell everyone that you can, any way that you can. Keep up to date with episodes by subscribing to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please rate and review the episodes on Apple Podcasts, as it helps others to find the show. We'll be back next week with another in-depth conversation with a pop culture lover. See you then.